Greetings, everyone. I'm going to share a story. Some of you have heard the story before, but for those who are new to the channel, you might not have seen that video or heard that message. But I think it's a message I have to repeat because it's very common. The experience is very common. Now, I had a friend, an older friend, and someone who I can call a journey helper for the mere fact that she was able to recognize certain things that was happening in my life and stayed on the periphery and gave me advice to assist me, never judging me, never putting her mouth in people's marriage. So even though she saw some things, she wouldn't come out and say, do this, that, or the other. This is why when people have marital problems, I'm very cautious in speaking or taking sides with anybody. As long as two persons are still married, I don't think it's any of our business to tell anyone leave this person or not. If they have issues and they come to you and you think it's of a nature where it's dangerous, you can give that person resources. So, for example, the person is not in a safe environment. You don't get into any lecture of why they should leave their partner. You give them the tools, give them resources, show them the shelters, tell them about education, because sometimes that's all it takes, someone to raise their vibration. But I'm sharing this story to make a point. So this friend of mine was going through some emotional turmoil, and as she was there for me, I wanted to be there for her. So I check in on her from time to time. When I would call her house, her kids at the time were teens. I would ask for her and they would say, hold on, they're going to get her. But then they'll come back and say, oh, sorry, she's not here. You know, kids sometimes don't know how to graciously get out of these kind of situations. So I was like, okay, she's not in the mood to talk. And I would call back another time, not too short after, because sometimes I'm thinking the person needs a break or whatever. And I check in again, and they would say the same thing, come back, and then say she's not there. And over a period of time, maybe within a year, I would call every 3 months or something to check in, because I know that I didn't do anything to this person. I know that she means a lot to me. So I would check in. And then when I called at one point, I was expecting the same routine of her, of the kid saying she hold on and then coming back to say she's not available. But she answered the phone and I was like, oh, you answered. And she's like, well, you don't expect me to answer? I'm like, not really, but I'm still checking in. Did not take it personal. And I find it to be extremely offensive when you call somebody, you don't hear from them, and you don't get to that point where you're saying, I hope she's all right. Or if there's any way, if you have an email, if you have a WhatsApp, if you have a text, say, listen, I hope all is well with you. When you're ready to talk, I'm here. We're too self-involved. We're making everything be about us. Not everybody is going to tell you their whole story as it's happening. Not everybody want their life to be a breaking news. If I speak of my own experience, while I'm going through, I don't like to speak. But trust me, it's an honor if I'm saying something around alluding to, something that might be going on. That's a blessing. I consider you guys my brethren, my brothers, my sisters, family in some respect, because I don't have a traditional family. I have not, except for one blood sister, I have no relationship with family because of the things that they have done to me. They broke my heart, except for two nephews and a, brother, a distant brother. And when I say distant, I mean not close to me. If I think about blood relatives, I could think of, when I say family, I could think of three men, as a matter of fact, within my family that I'm good with. I have no ill feelings towards them. They've never done me anything wrong, never hurt me in any way. Three males and one female. My children and my partner are the ones who see my life, my struggles, my pain, my triumph, my strength, my power. But it doesn't matter how powerful you are or strong you are, this is life. It's a cycle of living and dying and figuring out things in life. You don't owe anybody any explanation as far as sharing details. If you can't tell it to the tree, and if you have one person or if you have a few persons in your life that you're okay with sharing as you go through it, that's wonderful. But stop being thin-skinned. Stop making it be about you. If you're a good person, you could never think about yourself when people are going through whatever it is that they're going through and they're not making you be a part of it. Sometimes it's best to work your thing out before you share it. Those stories, when they're told, they're powerful. Just going through things and sharing it at the moment, people come with their pity, which is sometimes it's not what you need. They say things, and in a way, those words are so magical. Oh, I feel so sorry for you. Oh my boy, you're bad lucky. Oh, this or that is going to happen. You're there, even though you're going through it, you're still maintaining that mindset that is going to allow you to walk through this fire. But because they come and start saying all these negative things, there you go. Bam, they seal your fate. So you just have to weigh what you share. That doesn't mean you can't reach out. Learn that spiritual discernment to feel. And you have to also learn how to decode. I am a writer. So sometimes I say things, some people call it parables, sometimes it's metaphor. I'll speak of the wind when I'm talking about the vicissitudes of life. I will speak of fire when the pain is deep. I'll speak of the mountain when this journey is so steep. I'll think of the valley when I'm just very low in my spirit. I use metaphors. And so I might share things in metaphor without getting into detail, because I'm not giving either power to spirit, demonic spirits, or people to seal my fate. But sometimes it becomes so overwhelming that you want some kind of release. So you might say something for documentation purposes, as is my case, or just to let people know, do not take this personal. It's not about you. It's not about you. Over the years, people have been upset with me because I choose not to share my vulnerable moments with people. When people want to talk, give them the opportunity to talk. Oh, I'm not going to call you back because I called and you didn't return my call. Or you were going through something and you just felt like, just using a metaphor, when the person asks you something and you're like, oh, you're being rude to me. Oh my goodness. And then sometimes when you finally hear the story, you must feel ashamed. Be a friend to somebody, even a silent friend. Be a companion in times of storm and all kinds of hardship. I will never tell you, not even my husband that I love, I will never share my every thought. Some is meant for me and Maya. Not all of my tears are going to be explained, or my sorrows, or my grief. I got those. And my traumas, when I do share those, they're old. Someone will say, whoa, I can't believe you're feeling this way. This thing happened 10, 15, 20. Leave me. I can cry as long as I want to cry, as long as I don't allow that thing to prevent me from growing spiritually or financially. Because these days, get your money up and get it right. Find ways how to. Because without it, boy, experience all kinds of liberty. Stop it. Sometimes you lose friends, your good friends, because after they get through that situation, they remember how you acted. Learn not to be so self-involved. It's not about you. Over the years, I've had problems with folks with that, because I don't like pity. I like encouraging words. I like to, word, sound, power. And when I feel like I'm under the weight of something, I want to hear that. I look for people to raise my vibration, uplift my spirit. And if I'm in that quagmire, I don't want you coming down there with me. How are you going to help me if I'm down in the mud and you're coming down there to sit in the mud with me? No. Stand above ground. Show me that you're there when I climb out. And if you have solution to offer that is going to be beneficial to both me and you, that's great. If you want to share your love, there's so many ways to share your love without knowing exactly what I'm going through. All you need to know is it's a stormy time. All you need to know is a period of reset. All you need to know is that Jenny never surrender even when she wants to. Why? Because the spirit will not allow me. And I love my sister. We have the same mother. And there are many things that's happening in my life that she doesn't know, and she will never know until it's resolved. Not because I don't trust her and that she wouldn't offer me. It's just a rule of thumb for me, people. So because of that, it's always going to be that situation. Sometimes someone can feel something too, because you might say something and I might respond in a way, because based on the state of mind that I'm in, I might not be as politically correct. I am a no nonsense type of person. I have these platforms, and one of the reasons why they don't grow as much, you have to have a certain personality to really keep people coming back. Those of you who come back, you like my personality, but a lot of persons don't like my kind of personality. I'm not an entertainer. It's hard for me just to talk for the sake of talking. And I'm never going to tell you my story in detail. That's not important, especially when you're not in a position to change it or to fix it. Or I wouldn't want to ask you to do that. Right? So if you're here sitting and holding something in your belly for a friend, especially if you know this person is a friend, this is the thing that makes me upset with people. The person is a friend, a true friend, and you know this. So one time the person can't speak to you, or one time the person just seem distracted, you don't stop for a moment to say, oh, I hope my friend is okay. People remember when they're going through a storm, and the people in their lives that offer them an open door to come whenever they're ready, or to know that they're sitting outside the door for when they're ready. That is a beautiful feeling, to know that, oh my, I'm in here, I'm being left to deal with whatever it is that I have to deal with or cope with, but I know when I come out of this dark space and I step on the outside, the person is waiting. What is better than that? What great feeling. Nowadays, people don't have time to think about anybody else but themselves. And if you're there, and this is what discourages me a lot, if you're there for them for 10 years and you suddenly cannot be available for them, you're the bad guy. Shouldn't be like that, guys. Because we all go through things in life. And sometimes not even our kids we don't want to talk to. Or sometimes your kids don't want to talk to you. You understand? Life is a cyclical, moving train or object. Sometimes it slows, sometimes it takes up speed, sometimes it stops. Sometimes it's like a boulder running towards you. Sometimes it's like a snail. And there's nothing you can do but just to wait and watch the outcome. Or keep yourself busy dodging these things that are coming at you. And there are times when you just surrender, like I have right now. Just lay it all down. Just surrender. Especially when you are ordered. Sometimes you don't even have to tell people, listen, whatever it is I'm doing or going through right now has nothing to do with me. I don't want to go through this. I don't want to deal with this. But when you are obedient, when the Spirit says, do this, I'm in the situation where I'm saying, okay, I don't understand why you're asking me to do this. I don't understand why I have to deal with this. But hey, you are in control. I just want to see the outcome, but you have to wait. So if you don't hear from that friend that you're saying, oh, she didn't call me in such a long time, you call her or him. But if you call them and they're not available, send them a note. Let them know that you love and that you don't need to get into any story if they're not ready. And ask for that spirit of compassion that allows you to love upon others even when they don't seem to be showing love. There's a difference in loving people that don't love you. I'm not telling you should love people who don't love you. I'm saying people who you have a good history with. There are times when they're not able to match your emotion or your love. It's your time to be there for them. We have to stop using people, because what it is essentially is using others. When if they can't be there for you at a moment, you get into your feelings. That's using people. Human beings have feelings. Human beings go through things, and they're not your sounding board. They're not your remote control that they just flip the switch and whatever it is that you need to entertain you is there. And if you're in a position to be there for somebody, they don't have to tell you. If you have that discerning spirit, you'll know. Or the spirit will confirm with you if you are meant to be there for them. As a story I shared a while back, being home, gave birth to my child, having this disability, getting a call from the hospital saying, get back to the hospital immediately because there's issues going on with your child. Me knowing that I am not in a position to help myself. I'm disabled. I have people coming in my home to help me, but no one was around. My child was at school. And so in desperation, I heard my child wasn't well because of some results that came in. I tried to see if I could help myself, get her ready, and just pull myself on my bottom up to call a cab. But then when I tried changing my clothes, I fell to the ground, couldn't get back up. And a friend who was calling just decided to leave from a whole other city and come to my home. And it's such a good thing that the door was left open because my daughter forgot it open. She came, saw me on the floor, saw my story. Listen, I love that woman, like just pure love I have for her. She didn't take it personal. She just came out and found me in the worst way and was able to help me get ready and take my daughter to the hospital. Sometimes you gotta be that type of friend, not be so much into yourself. Anyway, we'll leave it here for now. Hopefully someone gets it at the right time. Stay blessed, everyone.